I think that quick glimpse on some action will tell you more than thousands of words. Minus 30 half per second and 125 damage multiplier what I am taking, the damage taken. And look at me holding in here. Perfectly fine. The imposter already managed to do some damage to itself. The robots are attacking. Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have for you updated lazy heavy gunner build. And just a quick note for anyone who's new, lazy heavy gunner build is not a beginner build. It's more like you should read it as a retirement build. So you did everything you wanted to do, you basically have everything in game, and you want an easy mode. So that's the lazy heavy gunner build, the easy mode for the game. So, what it entails. Yet, let's go step by step, everything in this build. Starting with the special distribution. This is a special distribution before legendary perks. And about legendary perks, this build has like 3 modes you can run it in. It would require swapping one of those legendary perks. So at this moment, luck. So I'm in the combat mode. That's a combat mode because this legendary luck is used to push my luck to 33 points without using any food. So maximum damage output without any management of that. Like no food required, nothing like that. It's just 33 luck. Any weapon you take will be critical every other shot. Now, other modes available, I'm swapping occasionally, depend what I'm doing. So, Master Infiltrator will be used, I would call it exploration mode. Update drops, maybe a new quest line, so on, or I just want to go drop nukes. I need some reason to use the Master Infiltrator to open terminals or doors. I will equip it, that I will call exploration mode. I will then use weapon with faster VATS critical recharge to achieve the damage that I want, if needed, but I will be running with Master Infiltrator. Then, the reload mode, that's additional one, when I will slot in survival shortcut, that will be only temporary, until I generate 10 of those survival syringes, then I use them over following months. They do last. I use them basically only to remove diseases. That's my quick disease cure, is super light. It cannot be accidentally sold to a vendor or anything done with it. It's not even possible to store it in a stash box. So that's a disease cure that's always on me. Can be used as a stim pack too, but I'm basically using it as disease cure on demand. That's why I stockpile on those. Now, so those are the 3 modes. Outside of that, regularly equipped, plus 15 to special total, so that's agility, intelligence, endurance in my case, taking 1 for the team to increase your damage output, and electric absorption for both tankiness and worry-free fusion core management. They do recharge themselves, so you don't need to worry about them. I noticed from my experience with this perk, even when I'm using Gatling lasers, slowly, just by playing the game, fusion cores do accumulate rather than being depleted. So, perfect solution for laziness. Now, the perks themselves. So, under strength, I do have bare arms, as I'm not using it on weapon anymore. I'm carrying on armor. I'm carrying multiple heavy guns just for fun factor, so if I want to switch between them, I can. All heavy gunner perks, you need some damage. Otherwise, endgame is a struggle if you don't. So, we have all the heavy gunner perks. And Blocka, that's for tankiness. This build is so tanky that for most enemies, that can be even swapped. If you need a faster reload or something else, you can go with it. How tanky this build is, I will show you, of course. It's just insane. But then Perception, Concentrated Fire, as we are using VATS, Fire in the Hole for occasional toss of the grenade. Not really a grenade, but like a Tato if you feel like doing expedition or something else, so that helps out. Again, lazy heavy gunner, so you don't need to figure out when the grenade will go, you have a tracking line. Then Grenadier, this one is for tagging during the events to use explosive weapon. That basically all its purpose, nothing else but tagging when needed. Then Endurance. It's only 10, So there is additional option to swap, depend what you need more. With 10 and those perks, it's already super tanky. So the important perks are here, like Fireproof, Thirst Quencher, Natural Resistance, Iron Stomach, Life Giver, Sun Kiss. Sun Kiss is laziness perk. This perk alone manages your rats, so no rat away ever needed. This perk alone manages all the rats, you don't need to ever think about it, so that's laziness factor again. Star Genes to keep your mutations, but then there is an option to swap. If you want, you can add 5 more endurance to equip your bullet shield and maybe something else. So 5 more endurance and you can run bullet shield. I notice I don't really need a bullet shield on this perk. It can be useful sometimes. I opted in for Gunsmith under Intelligence. So you either go with Gunsmith, that can be swapped for Demo Expert if I want to use explosives. So this build can use launchers if you want to by swapping Gunsmith with Demo Expert. Or you can transfer those points to Endurance and learn Bullet Shield. Up to you. I prefer this setup. You can go other way around. It's all good. Then, Charisma. We have Bodyguards. That's not super helpful, but a little bit. The reason to have the Bodyguards, I really wanted 6 Charisma to be able to share rank 2 per card. So that's why I spent this 1 extra point. It could be 5 and would be still fine. Stretching numbers to get mutations stronger. Travel Agent, again, saving caps on fast travel. So we don't need to worry about caps. A little bit laziness factor. Tenderizer for more damage. Intelligence, we do have First Aid, even though manually I do not use Stimpaks on this build. But we do have auto Stimpaks. So First Aid is here when auto Stim will be used, which is quite rare, but happens. It will be stronger. Then Power User, so our fusion cores are always lasting and we never run out. Stabilize for extra damage. Patch is included, and this one I'm sharing because I figure out it's probably the most handy one. Everyone is carrying some kind of fusion core, plasma core, or some random ammo, so I'm sharing that to help everyone out. Scrappa to obtain more by doing the same. That's again laziness factor to free up your scrap box. And Gunsmith to repair weapons less. The worst thing that can happen is when it breaks during the combat and you need to repair it. So with this perk you repair it way less. Next, agility only 6 points total. It could have been even lower, but yeah, 6 is like a sweet spot from my experience. Action Boy here to regenerate action point a little bit faster. It's not like a necessary. You could do anything else with those 3 points under agility. I cannot have less than 6 with my legendary agility equipped, so there is no way for me to reduce it unless I would switch and use different special on legendary perk cards, which I don't want to do. So I have 6, adrenaline rank 1. If you feel like you need max out adrenaline, that's an option. You could drop Action Boy, you could even drop Born Survival and run out max out adrenaline. It's an option. There is no bad choices here. There are only good choices, which is a good news. Lastly, luck. This is focus on damage again, as we need those damage in endgame. So Bloody Mess, better criticals. Ricochet is a defensive one. The best defensive perk at this moment. Scaling with luck on top of everything, extremely powerful. Cap Collector to just get more free caps. It could be swapped for Junk Shield, but Junk Shield is not perfect for lazy build. With Junk Shield, you need to remember to keep 100 junk on you at all times. So I decided not to. The tankiness will not be a problem with this build as we are using a proper power armor, so no issue without Junk Shield. 4-Leaf Clover to get those lazy VATS critical hits when you are missing otherwise. Class Freak, so mutations are less bad. And Critical Savvy to get critical every other shot. Laziness is a factor, so VATS is the main source of damage. We are using VATS whenever possible. Only if VATS is not possible, then we use a weapon that do not require VATS. But VATS is the most lazy thing, especially with Gunfu equipped, so just hold the button and wait for enemies to die. That's perfect, I think, for laziness factor. Mutations, I almost forgot. Yeah, mutations. Food is optional, you may use, may not use. Not needed. Mutations. So adrenal reaction for damage. Bare bones to fall slower and extra free agility. Carnivore. If I choose to eat something, I eat a free food generated at my camp. That's why carnivore. You could go herbivore, but it's less lazy. So carnivore is more compatible. Eagle Eyes for extra damage. Herd Mentality for free special. Marsupial jump higher. Scully Skin for this basically free tankiness. And Speed Demon to move faster, reload faster. Now the gear. Weapons, of course, the most important will be your Gatling Plasma. I have one with bonus VATS critical charge if I'm in exploration mode, so I can use that. Or I have my staple, so anti-armor crit damage, less AP cost, and pinpointers for extra damage to the weak spots mostly, because head counts for that. So that's perfect. Incredibly powerful. So that's the biggest powerhouse at this moment for every heavy gunner if you consider weapons. The other ones fully optional. For example, the most off-meta one I do have here is this Executioner's Gatling Laser. Ultrasight Gatling Laser with VATS hit chance and bonus VATS critical recharge. Plus when target is burning, it's doing extra damage and it has a fire damage, so the target is burning all the time. This one intentionally without fire rate, so fire rate extremely low, only 30. That results that I can continuously fire it forever in VATS, and it will not stop. And it's slow enough so Ganfu can catch up with the switches. For regular and weak enemies, it's perfect off-meta weapon. And I do not need to be in my combat mode as I have bonus VATS critical recharge, so I don't need this 5 extra luck. It could be something else, depend. If you're always in the combat mode, then you could go less AP cost on every weapon. I have more, but those are important. When VATS is not really available, I have this Holy Fire. 4-star Holy Fire with Pyromaniacs. Incredibly powerful weapon. I do have for tagging my Tesla cannon. It is bloodied. I'm obviously not bloodied at this moment. As I'm using it for tagging, it doesn't really matter. Just need to do a little bit of damage. So the fact that I'm not bloodied does not really do anything wrong. Huge inventory of everything I want to carry and have fun with. Then armor, it's the important part. So my armor is mostly troubleshooters as endgame. If anything will do damage to you, it will be a robot. So troubleshooter 4 pieces, the reason only 4 pieces is because one is auto stim. Auto stim, very handy in my opinion, especially on lazy builds. So if you forget to use the stim, or if Born Survival alone would not be enough, that's additional stim pack that will be injected and you will survive. All of the pieces have +2 luck on the 2nd star. All of them have reduction for the food, chem, drink, everything. So I don't need to manage that a lot. I don't need to carry it, to be honest. But if I do any in-game activities, the game, all quests, raid, everything keep dropping at you huge amount of chems and aid. So you need to carry it, you want it or not, otherwise you will need to be dropping stuff every single quest completion. That's not how lazy build operates. So you need that. You really need that if you want it to be a lazy build. And then the powerhouse, all the pieces, rejuvenators. The power of full rejuvenator set, at least at this moment, is insane. And therefore we want it. We absolutely do want it. For the important mods, for the head, we have VATS Matrix Overlay, so it hits a little bit better in VATS, and we are using VATS a lot. Yes, VATS does drain a little bit of Fusion Core, but as I said, with this build, I was testing it for a week, and my Fusion Core keep accumulating. So the number is going up, not down, so that's not a problem. As long as you are not using super VATS heavy weapons, so expensive in VATS and spamming coffee, then it will not be a problem. So all the pieces the same, of course, calibrated and so on. And it's a Union power armor set. So it's giving us extra carry weight and poison resistance. That's what we are aiming for. The most powerful set in the game. I was considering the new one from the raid to be used that reduces the AP cost. I mean, Fusion Core drain. But because my fusion cores accumulate with this set, so I went with that, as poison resistance in that case is better. If I don't need this fusion core, extra fusion core sustain, then this power armor is better. I was considering the other one too, and went up with that. Just for fun, I have another set in here. This one is the Choo-Choo power armor set. So all last star, if I want to run around and do nothing else and enemies to still die, I have a set of power armor with Choo-Choo on the last star. The enemies just die. That's just for fun. But mainly we are using rejuvenators. And now, how good it is. I will show you that soloist, that's the best showcase. I think that quick glimpse on some action will tell you more than thousands of words that I could tell you about this build and keep talking about it. I can show you, so let's activate Imposter event. Now use the keycard. I crafted it, use it, activate Assaultron Recall, activate it. And you can see those ghouls are currently attacking me, so they are starting the show, and I neither take any rats or damage. So I can ignore them. That's the power of rejuvenators and this build. Everything comes together. So look at that. Like the ghouls, enemies, Stimpak is not needed. Nothing is needed. I'm solo in here. I don't need to use camps or any consumables. I still have something running, but not really combat one. Oh, radworms. So they are giving me radworms. That's not a bad thing. Really, not too much, but disabling some of the perks. So time for Survivor Syringe. That's what I'm using it for. Thank you, ghouls, for providing with a disease for the showcase. So I still have like charisma bonus. Why is it jumping like that? Oh, I'm being attacked and multiple effects are switching. So charisma, carry weight, that's it. So that's clearly not a combat bonuses. Not even fully... Oh, I am fully fed because I popped a syringe. I forgot it gives you food and water. But yeah, no camps, no food buffs running. You can see the imposter is already in here. I am being heavily attacked. Was not even able to trigger any of my stimpaks. Okay, like pylons. If you try to ever do it solo, you know how much damage imposter is doing and how much drain those pylons are doing on top of that. And not only drain from the pylons, but as well, when you are holding those pylons, they do increase the damage you are taking from all sources. So if I see it, conduit, minus 30 half per second and 125 damage multiplier what I am taking, the damage taken. And look at me holding in here. Perfectly fine. The imposter already managed to do some damage to itself. The robots are attacking. I'm not using bullet shield because I would need to fire a gun to even activate it. So at this moment it's only ricochet. Ricochet with this build, the trigger chance is 31%. It's 32% if I would have a teammate, as that would be one more luck. I'm slightly under. I'm 32 because there is no teammates, so mutations are slightly weaker. So you can see Imposter already did some damage to itself. Don't really need to use stimpaks. That's the power of this build. Like, it is insane. The regular robots are dying, and that's not even a reflection build. It's not fully focused on the reflection. That's basically ricochet with high luck that we prioritize in here. And my health is being mostly maintained by legendary perks and rejuvenators, so they are healing me while simultaneously doing damage to itself. I still have this auto stim and born survival, so in case of trouble, it sometimes triggers, like they will occasionally manage to drop my health low, like now that was auto stim from my armor. If they drop it again, then there will be a chance for Born Survival to trigger at 20% health. So let's wait for that. And that's a Born Survival. So I can survive basically everything. And the fact that they suddenly deal damage, that's because all the energy damage robots died. And they're coming back now. So they were healing me. Now they died. So those robots don't really do damage. They do heal me. And now if I need to kill something, okay, I will show you this intentionally slow firing Gatling laser. Where is it? Off meta. Executioners Gatling laser. So this is... Okay, let's aim for what are we aiming? Thruster? Thrusters. This is firing slow enough so Ganfu can switch. Oh, it switched to the imposter. I wanted something else. Let's manually switch. So something else. Switch to something else. Switch it back to imposter. No, kill robots. Robot kill. So that's intentional. I can keep pressing the C or Z to switch targets manually and coming back. And basically maintaining action points almost constantly. It is slightly taking too much. If I would add on it less AP usage on the third star, it would maintain it. Now, if you really want to do damage, of course, that's why we have this Gatling plasma. So that's the powerhouse. The scenario will change now. If I fire that, that's the damage we are doing. We have really good damage on... Even on the imposter, that is very tanky. And that's without consuming any coffee or anything like that. If you do have, of course you can. I have some birthday cake to waste, so I could like pop 5, 6. And that will give me infinite firing with this Gatling plasma. And it will switch. So I just hold the button. Everything dies. If the VATS drops, I need to turn around. Anyone left? There's something over there. Yeah, that's... I don't know if you can go more lazy or the build. You don't need to manage anything. Everything manages almost itself. When you are selling at vendors, you can sell everything. Oh, there was a bunch of legendaries. You can sell everything under your 8. There is nothing that you would sell accidentally and then you need. Because you don't need anything at this build. A huge part of it is, of course, power of rejuvenators. 4-star legendary on armor, just so good for the lazy build creation. But yeah, I think that speaks volumes, how well it's doing in here. Oh, maybe outside of VATS, how it's only barely alive one enemy, but outside of VATS, I have this Holy Fire. Yeah, it's powerful, like, hard to show on this one is almost dead, but that's the build. I'm really proud of it. It works awesome. I like it. I enjoy playing on it. I will be on it for a while probably. I can play like that. It's very relaxing. You don't need to worry about anything. There's no manual stim packs. There's no thinking when you are at vendor selling stuff. You just sell everything under 8 category. 8 categories, basically a caps generator. Whatever I pick up is for sale. I usually pick up more than I can sell, so occasionally I will need to drop something to the donation box. And that being said, what do you think about this build? Do you like it? Let me know. And now, as always, thank you all for watching, and see you all in the next one.